Go.
Call to order the Webster, Mass. Conservation Commission meeting, August 3rd, 6 p.m. In attendance, if you could just state your name for quorum and attendance.
Robin Jewell.
Pamela Sharon.
Patty Foley.
Devin Avery.
Brian Anderson.
Richard Parent, staff.
And this meeting is being recorded as part of the open meeting law. And first on our agenda, actually, I just kind of wanted to go over the meeting for tonight. There's a lot on the agenda, so I want to get through it as quick as possible. But there's a lot of important stuff on here. So any questions, audience, you'll have your time to ask questions or speak. If you're here for a certain project, please let us know. If you could make sure everyone's signed in on the sign-in sheet by the door. Did you have something else, Rich?
I was just going to say 114 Point Breeze won't be heard tonight. It'll be continued.
Okay,
If
and
anybody's here for that.
114 would be continued if anyone's
He's
here.
here.
He's here.
You're here.
Who's- You're here for 114?
Well, I am, but John Federico, the engineer.
Sorry, AJ. He did say that he wanted to continue till 2 weeks from now.
No worries.
There's no DEP number yet.
Okay,
And we were waiting for feedback from them, so it'd be continuous presentation.
okay, thank you so much.
You sure? Do you know who that, Rich, do you know who that man is?
It's
Do you
AJ.
know who that man is, though? Are you sure it's okay, AJ? Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
See you in a couple weeks. Thanks, guys. All right, so just to jump in quickly here, we're going to go straight to public meetings, and our clerk will read 6 Ridgewood Drive.
In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, the Wetlands Protection Act, and the Town of Webster Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Chapter 636, a public meeting will be held on a request for determination of applicability, an RDA filed by Wagner Pinheiro of Express Remodeling Group. The applicant seeks a determination as to whether the proposed construction of a covered breezeway, a new deck, and the replacement of an existing concrete patio with permeable pavers at 6 Ridgewood Road, Webster, Mass. Assessor ID 45-A-4-0 is subject to the jurisdiction of the State Act and local wetland bylaws. The public meeting will be held in the Board of Selectmen Room, 2nd floor, Webster Town Hall, 350 Main Street, Webster, Mass. On August 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Any person interested in this application or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. For the Webster Conservation Commission, Richard Parent, Conservation Agent.
Thank you. Rich, would you like to just take us through the project?
Sure, Wagner, if you wouldn't mind, come on up. Just make sure your mic's on. Just press that button. Perfect.
Perfect.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wagner Pinheiro. I'm the new owner of 6 Ridgewood Road, and I'm trying to see if I can get the RDA for the breezeway to connect the 2 buildings, which is still going to be just suspended. The area underneath is going to be untouched. It's going to be just as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also doing the removal of the concrete on the back, and I'm going to be replacing that with permeable paver, which will allow the water, to infiltrate, and also looking to do a rear deck. I do have photos if you guys would like to see it.
So Wagner, let me, I'll walk them through. I have the plans in front, so you can see it up on that screen. They can see it here.
Yeah, okay, perfect. You already have that.
Yeah. So this is the, I'll show you photos in a minute, but essentially there's a home and a garage here. They're separated by a space here, which has a cement slab down here. And what the proposal is that they're basically going to build a breezeway, sort of connection between the home and the garage, right here, right on top of the current slab. So there won't be any digging. That's the reason why it kind of stayed as an RDA and not an NOI. Wagner also agreed, given the pervious calculations on this lot, to break up all of this cement that's here and implant pervious pavers into this same footprint. Additionally, though it doesn't really pertain to us, there's also, this is the deck I think he was discussing
Yeah,
as
you're
well.
right, yes.
So and this is some other profile materials that he gave us. I don't think it's particularly relevant. It's more of a building. But this is the breezeway right here. Very small piece between the two. And it'll be covered. And it looks something like this. That's the proposed. So to give you an idea of what we're talking about, this is the space between the home on the left and the garage on the right. And this is basically the cement slab that exists out back that he's going to be breaking up and turning that into pervious pavers. I have several more photos here. Yeah, so this kind of gives you from the water side, looking back, this is that patio again, this is the house, and this is the garage. So I think you kind of got a flavor for what's going on here. I have a few more photos, but I don't think it tells any more story than that.
Did any of the members have any questions?
Is there original deck there that's coming out next to the patio? Because I didn't see it there, but on the first set of plans, it had a deck over there.
Did you say
Deck.
a deck?
On the first plans we saw, there was a deck by the patio.
I think it captures in this photo.
I think I have.
So is that what you're referring to?
So that's staying?
That's on the garage, I think.
Yeah,
That's
that
on the
was
garage.
staying, yeah, that's existing.
I thought on the first plan, there was a deck there.
So if I can show you this here, guys, do you mind if I approach and show you this?
Yeah,
here?
No,
That would be
I'd
nice.
like to see it.
I think
This is
the
existing.
site.
Right, right.
This is the proposal.
Right, I saw that in the plan. Okay.
This is the proposal, that's where the new deck's gonna go. Right now, this is coming out and the deck's gonna go.
When you say deck, do you mean that thing there?
Yeah, that's a-
That's it? Okay, fine, yeah, okay, it's not.
Existing, needs a level off, this one is proposed. This one on the back, this one where the deck's gonna go, which is off this area.
Okay,
I
perfect.
didn't see how it aligned, so that's helpful because they look.
Thank
yeah,
you.
So thank you.
Existing, house being empty for the past 10 years.
Does need love.
It
Okay.
does need love. Okay.
Got it?
Yep, perfect. Yep.
Okay, just there.
How are you gonna remove the concrete? By
So,
hand or by?
I probably have to do by hand. We tried to park a car back there, but it was really hard to get up. So it's gonna have to be jackhammers and carry it all the way to the front.
Good thing you're young. I mean, good luck.
I have good guys that are young, so, yeah.
That was my primary concern, was how you were gonna remove that concrete and
Yeah, so
then where you were gonna put it after you pulled it out.
I'm gonna have to be by pieces. That's one of the hardest area for us to work on, but gotta be done, gotta be done.
That's what I thought when I looked.
Yeah.
The breezeway is nothing,
Yeah,
right?
on that
Exactly,
picture,
the
it says
frame is
deck.
easy, it's
Yeah.
pretty
And
it
straightforward.
says
The comp is
proposed
the
deck.
hardest.
Yeah,
one.
right here,
Yeah, over.
this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that hooked on the garage. That's what I was questioning. I didn't
Yeah,
know where
that's
that was.
existing, yeah.
I didn't look all the way over to the word garage.
So you see what the red says proposed deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the new deck's gonna go.
Your pictures are much better. To understand.
Are there any questions or anything from the audience? Okay. I'm looking for a vote for negative determination.
I motion we a negative determination.
First by Ms. Jewell,
Second.
second by Mr. Avery.
Great.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So
I'll be in touch.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you guys. Good luck.
Next, we have 23 South Shore Road, but that's somewhat complicated. Where Glenn's
So we're gonna-
here, did you?
We're going to move that to
The
the
end. Okay.
ratification.
To where?
We're going to move it later we have to go through.
It's further down on the agenda. So we're going to go to 35 Nancy Drive. And
Welcome. Just a second.
if you could just state your name for the record.
Yes, hello, my name is Abner Gomez. I know it says here Nora Escobar, that is my wife. She was busy picking up my child, so she will not be here today.
Thank you.
How did that happen?
Okay. Just state what it is I'm looking to do.
He's just going to get it up here in front of him real quick.
So I'll remind the commission. So originally, this was presented by a professional company who was going to come in and install this pool. We wanted to pull them in to get more answers on that. The applicant decided to withdraw and now is decided to move forward. He had a fence installed. And so I think now he's ready to sort of move forward with it. So, but now he's decided to do it on his own. And so I went out to the sites and discussed basically an education on what we do here as far as the Conservation Commission. The impact area, as you recall, is the stream that runs directly behind here. And so I had a really good discussion about what the commission was concerned about as far as water, and you're welcome to ask, the pool operations aspects of it. I'll just throw a quick side note into there. The adjoining neighbor over here was also tagged as a result of our actions because it wasn't permitted, but I've got documentation, and if anybody's interested, I can share with you, but it seemed to be acceptable to me as to how the operation of that pool runs as well. And so I think the pool that's being planned is different, as well as the filter unit. So I'll let the applicant sort of describe that. But in the meantime, I want to just show you, here's the pool design. It looks something like this. As well as, and it's the filter too, right? Package.
Yes.
All right. Familiar with what this site looked like. It is a site. This is the new fence that was just installed. Started to sort of outline, pull back some of the grass, and kind of get an idea as to where the pool was going to be. He also has a very interesting a fire pit over here, which was kind of deep, and we discussed the possibility that that could actually be a place where he could dump any sort of water and get it into the ground before. I think it's just a great opportunity to, it's already got something made on the property. So, and of course, without the internet going fast here. So this is from the other corner, looking, by the way, that's the neighbor that we just discussed at 33. I don't know why that picture doesn't seem to want to load. A little close up here. And so this is on the other side of the fence where the stream is, and the stream is actually right down here. This stream, if you're not familiar with the road, but Worcester Road, and if you've been on Worcester Road, which is a main thoroughfare, and there's what's the
6, that area?
Yes, paintball,
Yeah.
the paintball place is there.
Saloon 6 in that area.
Yeah. We've talked about the stream in the past because it runs through that junkyard that we're monitoring. But yeah, this is from the other side. This is looking back. The stream is kind of covered up here, but it's a really nice looking stream. It does have a gate that goes back there. But this is from that gate and looking back to the front. This is the gate coming out of the front of his yard. So you kind of get the idea here. So I'll leave the rest for you to talk about how the operations of the pool work.
As mentioned, I was initially going to have a pool professionally start. It was the Ambassador Pool Company. Initially, it was a half in-ground, half above-ground pool. They had advised that the process of getting a permit and mentioned that there was some additional works due to the wetlands, which was totally fine. It was more of a spontaneous kind of request from my wife to get this pool installed. After calming her down a little bit, we realized that we should probably go a different route. So we did get an above ground pool. Even in that process, our neighbor, as Richard mentioned, did get a notice from you guys advising, do you guys have proper documentation, permits pulled? So I reached out as well just to make sure that I got everything that I needed for it. Richard mentioned a lot of the documentation that the Ambassador Pool Company did was still on file, so I just continued with that process. In terms of my plans for the pool, as you saw, it's an above-ground pool, it's an Intex pool. I plan to level out the ground, put some masonry sand or beach sand, put my tarp over, put the pool up, eventually put up a deck, just a small deck. It would, I think you guys have a photo as well.
Yes, it's
Yes.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be off to the left to the other side of the neighbors. And then as Richard mentioned, I would be reutilizing or repurposing the fire pit, create a dry well. I think it's meant to be somewhere about 40 inches in diameter, 4 feet deep, gravel, soil mixture so that it doesn't seep and it doesn't leak back. I know there are additional precautions needed if we winterize it or if we just take down the pool. Either way, the release of the water would be done in a proper accordance. I know there's a certain time frame before we start releasing the water and at what pace so that there's no chlorine, there's no excess water buildup. So I would be taking every precaution to make sure we don't have any issues that stem towards the stream or anything like that. So just looking to see if we can get it approved. I know it's towards the end of the summer and everything, but
Be ready for next year.
yes. I mean,
So
it
the
took me
regular
like a
pool or
month.
salt water?
It is chlorine.
Chlorine?
Yes.
How are you going to drain it?
I'm sorry.
How are you planning on draining it?
It would just be a slow process. So I used to have,
Process where?
Robin, can you please speak in the mic,
it
please?
would be into
Sorry,
the
I'm
dry
sorry.
well.
What?
Yes, it would be into the dry well.
Okay.
Where
So-
the fire pit is. The
That's
stone,
right.
it will go through the
That's where you
stone.
primarily drain it.
Yes. I
Pam.
know that we shouldn't be
Pam.
dumping it right into the ground. So the dry well would be our primary source of cleaning the filter out, cleaning the backwash. And then depending if we take the pool completely down or if we winterize it, I've had those pools in the past at previous properties. I have winterized them. I didn't have much issue over the snow time, but it really all depends. We'll find out how my wife feels about it. She's the boss, so.
Pam, if I could you pull your mic in closer so we can hear you? Your mic. Thank you.
I'm quite loud even without it, just saying.
Are there any other additional questions?
I just have a curious question, it has nothing to do with anything. What are the walls made of aluminum? I've not seen that style pool before. I was just curious. It's kind of cool looking.
Honestly, it's just like one full liner. It's like a double liner, and it just has posts that hold it up.
Okay, yeah, because the notes said it was aluminum, but it looked more like it was
So,
sort of heavy
yes.
fabric or
Mhm.
something.
So that was the initial. So that was the ambassador
Okay.
pool. The ambassador pool was, I don't know if you've ever seen commercials for them. They're deck included with the
Yeah.
pool, and
Yeah.
it is aluminum.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they generally dig like 2 feet, and the whole side is aluminum. But my pool, yes, it would be the liner with the posts.
Yeah, if you were considering taking it down for the winter, I'm like, it must be take downable, like a regular pool, you wouldn't take it down. I was just curiosity.
Yes.
Nothing to do with anything, I'm just nosy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, in my previous property, we had one that was about half the size. It was a much smaller yard. And the first 2 years we took it down, it takes, I don't know, 2 hours to take down, not including the water. The water is a whole,
Yeah, yeah.
a whole different process, but like 2 hours to take down. They're clip poles. I mean, it's pretty resistant material. I had my other one for about 5 years, sold my house with it. The last 3 years, we kept it up. We basically got those big giant air pillows, put them in, got it ready. It survived, and I had trees over my previous property, so I had a bunch of branches fall on it. Very sturdy.
So this, you don't have to take down the mills, that outer wall or liner would hold the
Mhm.
ice.
Yes.
Even if it melted below and still not.
Mhm.
So just so you know, our concerns last time, it was gonna be salt water, and we didn't have enough information about a saltwater pool. We didn't know what would happen with the drain, the overfit, the washing and the backwashing and all
yes.
that. So that's where a lot of those questions came from. So thank you for following through and
Yeah, of
giving us
course.
that information. Fresh water's a little different story. Chlorine's everywhere, but, so thank you for explaining that.
Pam, I just, and the applicant as well as the neighbor are aware that the proper way of dealing with chlorine is not to chlorinate the pool for about 2 weeks. Chlorine has about a 2-day half-life.
Yeah.
And so it's common procedure when you ever have like release of this water, not to chlorinate for a couple days, and it basically eliminates the chlorine even before discharge.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
So I'm looking for a vote for non-determination.
Negative.
Yep, non-determination of applicability.
Second.
Sorry, that was first by who?
Yeah, that was first, sorry.
First by Pam Sharon, second by Robin Jewell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Good
You're all
luck.
set. Rich will be in touch with you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Maybe we'll have a hot fall and we can use it.
All right, we're going to move on to public hearings, our NOIs. First, we have 114 Point Breeze Road, which we're actually going to continue to 817. If I could get a motion to continue. Oop.
We should read the public notice first,
Oh, okay.
and then we'll continue.
Perfect. Sorry about that. If you could, okay.
In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended, the Wetlands Protection Act, and the Town of Webster Wetland Bylaw, a public hearing will be held on a notice of intent filed by James L. Kyrie, WEF Properties LLC, seeking an order of conditions for structural repairs to an existing commercial building on a pier alongside the replacement of underground fuel storage tanks, piping, and an associated concrete pad at 114 Point Breeze Road. Assessor ID 46-A-9-0. The proposed scope of work includes the direct alteration of 35 linear feet of inland bank and 150 square feet of bordering land subject to flooding at Webster Lake. The public hearing will be held at the Board of Selectmen Meeting Room, second floor, Webster Town Hall, 350 Main Street, Webster, Mass. On August 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Any person interested in this application or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. For the Webster Conservation Commission, Richard Parent, Conservation Agent.
Thank you. Okay, and is anyone here for 114? No, okay, great. All right, if I could get a motion to continue 114 Point Breeze Road to 817. First by Ms. Jewell,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Sharon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next, we have 25 Bates Grove Road. Do we have a,
Yes.
you go ahead and read that, Pam?
In accordance with the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 13140 as amended, and the Town of Webster Local Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Section 636, the Webster Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on a notice of intent filed by Marco and Danielle Fayola and Glenn Kravosky, EBT Environmental Consultants Incorporated, as the representative. The applicant proposes to construct a new 3.5-foot high retaining wall with granite steps, grade the rear yard to create a level area, install an underground electrical conduit, and rehabilitate an existing wooden deck within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland at 25 Bates Grove Road, Webster, Mass. Assessor's parcel ID 38-A-28-2. The public hearing will be held on Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m. in the Board of Selectmen Meeting Room, second floor, Webster Town Hall, 350 Main Street, Webster, Mass. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on this application should appear at the time and place designated above. For the Webster Conservation Commission, Richard Parent, Conservation Agent.
Thank you, Pam. Oh, geez. So this one also, we do not have a DEP number for this yet. We have Glenn here who has to present later today. Do you want to present on this today or do you want to wait?
We can just briefly discuss it and then continue and wait for the DEP
Okay.
number. It's pretty cut and dry what we have to
Yeah, if you want to
say.
just give us a quick summary of the project, then we can.
There it is. We're all set. Good
Great.
evening. Good evening, Commission. Sure, existing structure, the gentleman just bought it, Mr. Fiola, recently, and I'm just looking to level off the backyard, build a retaining wall, no work in, as far as along the shoreline. It is a natural shoreline, so it's delineated on the plan, very narrow. It comes up steeply, probably only 3 feet wide, the BVW, but it is there, so we're not leaving it out. Again, this is one of the few shorelines that doesn't have a wall. Well, the few I've worked on. But there is, and then in the future, we did move some stairs on it to get them 25 feet away from the property boundary. That would be the western boundary, to look forward to the Chapter 91 permit eventually that we're going to be going for. So we didn't want to leave any stairs where they had previously existed, where they were closer to the property line. So that would be for the RDA in the future. Now the backyard is generally going to be level. Existing grades, this is a McClure engineering plan. We normally come in with existing grade, but McClure was available at this time. So we had him do the plan, and it shows the house on it, shows the 25-foot policy buffer, the 100-foot buffer. Beyond the 100-foot buffer, you might see that there is a garage 30 by 30. It's approximately 15 feet off the 100-foot, so 115 feet away. But again, the work to the lakeside would be the wall. There's an existing access way on the east side of the property. We're leaving that, it's crushed, it's a subangular rock, 3/4 inch. A hemlock in the very corner at the property boundary. That would be the northeast corner. And from there, we'll take any questions or we'll go for the continuance to your next meeting. We did ask DEP if they could push this along, but we know that they're 5 or 6 weeks out on file numbers.
There are any members of the audience here for this project? Okay.
Thank you.
Hold our questions unless you, okay. Then I just need a motion to continue 25 Bates Grove Road to, what's good, 8/17?
Thank you.
Does that work?
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you.
So I need a motion?
I make a motion to continue 25 Bates Grove Road to August 17th.
First by Ms. Sharon,
Second?
second by Mr. Avery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Action items. Did everyone have a chance to read the draft minute meetings from July 6th?
There weren't any.
Glad you saw it.
Okay, well, there are.
There are.
They were just put in there late, that's
Yeah.
all.
Like 2 o'clock or something?
No, they were put in on Friday.
No,
No,
they
they
weren't there
weren't.
this
No, I'm sorry.
morning.
No,
No,
they weren't.
They were put in, oh, maybe they weren't put in today.
They weren't there this
That's right, they came
morning.
to me on Friday. I didn't get them and you're right.
I'm still having trouble getting on, so I need the link. Okay.
So
I don't know why it doesn't save it or
what are you seeing? Are you getting asked for
I
a
see
password?
nothing except this.
She doesn't know how to save the link, so she couldn't find it.
Are you having the same problem?
No.
No. Are you having a problem? Okay,
I've
So
had
I
a
need the
problem
link again.
every single week.
okay.
we'll get it figured out.
So I will have Brendan, all right, I'm going to send you all out another email with the link. I'm also going to send you Brendan's contact information, so if you have any technical issues with this, talk to him. He's corrected it all so far. I really just think it's a matter of just getting rid of the old favorited link that I told you to favorite, and then just take that one, once you go to it the first time, and then just
As
favorite.
soon as I put my email address in, then I lose the
You
link.
should,
That's what
you
happens
shouldn't
to me.
have to put any information in anymore.
Well, okay.
You
So
just
then-
click on it and go. If they ask you for something, then you need to talk to, we need to talk to Brendan.
Yeah, because every time I click on the link, it tells me to put in my email.
Okay,
Right.
that means we probably just clear, he'll help you, probably have to clear out your
Clear a
cache.
cache or something.
We can't do our job without the information.
Is it complicated if you just sent the link when you send the agenda, like as an attachment every time, or is that? You know what
Well,
I mean?
I'm expecting the exact same thing to happen.
Oh, okay.
It's not the link, it's the fact that there's saved.
Oh, no, I'm just lazy. I have to go look for it.
Oh, if you're asking, I can absolutely do
If it
that.
was just there,
Yeah,
I could
because
just
we have to
click
keep
on
going
it.
back.
I have to go dig in.
I can
looking for it.
absolutely
Only
do
mine
that.
disappears every day.
That's all I was
Then
just
I have to call her and
I
say, send me the
bookmarked
link.
it, so if I click the bookmark, it opens.
like,
I can do that.
okay.
I
thank
gotcha.
you.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion to continue the approval of the minutes, July minutes, till 8:17.
I'll make a motion to continue the July 6th minutes.
First by
8:17.
Ms. Sharon. Second. Second by Mr. Avery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, then we have 71 R Minebrook. This was supposed to be an update from Macro Environmental, the consultant. There was a issue in the family, death in the family or something. So we're gonna also continue this to, let's go 2 meetings. We're gonna continue this to 8:31. Anybody?
I'll make a motion to continue 71 R Minebrook to August 31st.
First by Ms. Sharon,
Second.
second by Mr. Avery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, so the next few are going to be COCs, which is our certificate of completion compliance. And we're going to start with 180 Killdeer Road. And Rich is going to take us through that here, possibly,
In theory.
in theory. How do you get this on the weirdest? Where are you?
Well, it wasn't loading, so I decided to go backwards. I seem to have an internet issue.
Bruce Beach.
You signed in?
Yeah, it just seems to be spinning a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I keep closing things. like right now, I should be,
I love the 10-year-olds, they fix everything.
Mhm. But see, the problem is it just keeps lagging every time I try to pull something like that. Oh, yeah. This kind of kills our meeting, doesn't it? We don't have a wired link. Can I use the, it might be on the guest. Okay. Zero, two. All
So
right,
that's what
some
you should
success.
see when you log in, you see all.
Okay, so 180.
Okay. Okay, so 180 Killdeer. This is a older project. So essentially, this was a couple of different things were built, including stairs, a porch out in the back. So existing. So the idea here was there was an existing home and retaining wall, and they're looking to replace the docks, and there were some tree removals as well as retaining walls that were built. And I pulled this up because there was very little in the way of special conditions. There was a Chapter 91, of course, and that was pretty much it for, and then there's these things in perpetuity. So I just wanted to show you that. And then I can show you that these folks applied for a,
What are you looking for? The Chapter 91?
yeah. They have it. They,
It was the dock drawing.
did you see that? Yeah, I gotta stop putting so much stuff on here. But here's the color-coded as-built that was provided. For the most part, it's exactly as described. There was really no changes at all. It's a steep backyard. I'll show you pictures of that in a moment, hopefully. Along with this stone paver walkway here, there was a fenced-in area which was admin approval. And then there was this addition out front here. And then there's an existing wall right down along here. Then, oh, here's the
There's the dock permit.
Okay. So these guys did have a dock permit application. We heard it. Here's the application. So we heard this back in 2024. I don't think they have that yet, but they're still working on it, but that's not the requirement, that they just certainly come in front of us. And I don't know why I went backwards like that. Sorry. And some photos so you guys can see how stabilized this is. Okay, so these were photos in construction that Joey had taken. You can actually, this was important because there's a cistern involved with this, so you get to see that properly. I think there's another photo here regarding this, and you can actually see inside the cistern here. And one more. And these were the stairs that were built. And the photos from when I went out there. This photo does not belong here. Neither does this. Am I in the right spot? When do you kill here? Sorry, folks, these are definitely the wrong pictures, so. April. No, I didn't go out there in April, so I don't know how those got in there, but I'll tell you that the site is very stable, and it's been that way for a couple of years.
Sure.
Any questions here?
Does anyone have any questions about 180 Killdeer?
I'd just like to see it.
I think most of the work was, I think if you open some of that April,
It's weird. Like these are definitely.
that's original. 17 was original. I think 20, there's some pictures there from 23.
Yeah, I don't know where these pictures are coming from. This is 26. Actually, these might actually be the ones. Okay, yeah, this is the photo. So this is the walkway. This is going to be from out front. Yep, so this was the addition out in front. This is where that cistern was that you were looking at previously. This is that, it was admin approval for this fencing, and there's a bunch of trap rock inside here, and they grow plants. And this is walking to the backyard where the water is. This is the back deck now. This is the addition here and the stairs. And now I'm sort of halfway up the, halfway down on the stairs going down. You can kind of see there's a small timber retaining wall there. It's all well planted, the whole bank. And this is sort of looking down at the dock and all the vegetation and retaining walls going down. And yeah, that kind of, that's pretty much the scope of the work. That kind of summarizes the scope of the work in the back, that last picture. That's all I have.
Great. Does any of the members have any questions, or can we get a vote then for a motion to issue the COC for 180 Kildare Road?
I make a motion to issue the COC for 180 Kildare Road.
I second.
First by Mr. Avery, second by Ms. Jewell. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next, we have 310 Thompson Road.
Okay, so 310 Thompson Road, I've talked to you before. This was the one where it's a large development. And I showed you all the issues last time, and went out with the applicant. We walked it a couple of times with the environmental engineer as well as the owner of that property. Pointed out all the issues that need to be taken care of, and they were very responsive and completed all of that. And they, we are
310.
Yeah. And so I got some photos for you. This is, so I've presented previously on this visit on the 6th where there was all kinds of issues. And then these are the follow-up photos of everything that had been taken care of. So if you recall, there was a bunch of stored material like junk back here. There was a lot of stone and Jersey barriers over here. And there's just a lot of debris, essentially. They've cleaned all that out. All this is just natural rock that's here. That's going to sort of get stored there. Apparently, it was there before this project was even undertaken. So that's where it's going to stay. These canisters are pretty much devoid of anything. They use it for all of their landscaping. It's really just tools in here and toilets, etc. in here. So there's really nothing being stored in here that's hazardous. If you recall, there was a big deposit of all the wood shavings in here, like 2 piles of it. So they went in here and took all of that out. There are erosion controls here. He has subsequently removed those as well. And all of those have been taken out. And so, yeah, this is just another picture. If you recall, it will look like back behind there is a bunch of trash, essentially. And finally, there is just over on the side here, there was a lot of equipment being stored, a lot of with hydraulics. You can't really see it, but the stream corridor, that's the reason why we're talking about this project is there's a stream corridor that runs right back behind here. So we're within like 25 feet of the stream here. So all that's been cleaned out, and they actually went back and rehydroseeded because the hydroseed had been taken in some spots. And so I saw that it had been rehydrated when I went over. I have not been over there to see that it has taken, but we've definitely had several rain events. So he initially did that hydroseeding during that heat wave that we had just prior to that. And so if you recall, some of it took, but some of it did not. So he made indication that the Jersey barriers were supposed to be used for storage of salt. He's now agreed that he's going to be moving that someplace else, or they're going to be hauling that in during salting events. So those Jersey barriers are actually now surrounding the dumpster. In the original plan, those dumpsters were where all that trash was being stored. If you remember way back when we approved this, and they made a pad over on the side, and now they actually surrounded the trash with the Jersey barriers. But I believe they're also going to build a wall around a retaining wall to sort of keep any sort of blown trash in that area and actually make it look better as well. So
Definitely improved since a couple weeks before.
yeah.
So, all right, looking for a motion to issue the COC for 310 Thompson Road.
I'll make a motion for certificate of compliance for 310 Thompson Road.
First by Ms. Sharon,
The second,
second by Ms.
Robin.
God, Jewel. All those in favor?
We get
Aye.
it eventually.
Motion passes 5-0. 5-0. Okay. Next, we have 77 South Shore Road. This is the Janet and Paul LeBlanc project.
Okay, so this project, I'll show you the photos first. So this project is really old. They're in the process of selling this property. So it's very well stabilized. It's been that way for many years. Give you a few photos. The idea here is just to show utilities here. There's a cistern, so trying to show that water going into the ground. Um, he has a nice putting green in the back, but you can see all of this is nice and stable. And this is their dock, and they, believe it or not, are one of the few people who actually have a dock permit. So we have a
Congrats.
verified dock permit. And this is what it looked like from the dock area. This is just all, they had specific plants that they were supposed to plant. It's all like mostly blueberries, I heard, but some other, but the bank is very stable there. And another dry well, cistern, so stormwater capturing device. And I think the idea here is just so you've got gutters, and that was the stormwater that I just showed you just a moment ago on the ground. And I think this is the last one. And this is just from the above, up on the deck, looking down, so you can kind of get a big profile of what that looks like. So,
Great.
I can show you, we don't see these too often, so I want to make sure I show it to you. We actually have a dock permit. I don't know if anybody's actually seen one on this board before. By the way, while we're waiting for this to load, there's actually a site, if you're ever interested, a site now where you can actually look at a map and see all the different approved docks on the lake. It's quite handy. It's a map, and you can literally look and see where all the docks are that are.
And is that through DEP?
It is.
Nice.
Waterways created that. Okay.
Do they have one that shows pending?
No, that's funny. The Chapter 91 license. This is what it looks like, folks. This is an actual license. It's been approved by Waterways. This was back in 2019. Oops, I don't know why this happened there. And then the order of conditions was pretty simple from that period of time. So there is very general order of conditions, and I believe the only special condition was the dock permits.
Great.
Yeah.
So special conditions was the dock permit. We're good. Everything's stabilized. So can I get a motion to issue the COC for 77 South Shore Road?
Motion to give COC to 77 South Shore Road.
First by Ms. Jewell,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Sharon. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. 26 Laurelwood Drive.
I don't know why I gotta keep going back.
We gotta keep this to like a meeting.
Hello.
He
sir.
asked me to sit in for him.
Okay.
Thank you.
was 26 Laurel Wood.
Here it is. Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll start off with the as-built here. So this as-built, it's pretty simple construction. This recently we passed this recently and it's built exactly to spec. So there really is, the overlay is exactly what you would expect from the original plan. The biggest issue here is going to be the OC. So we passed this back in November of 27. The special conditions that existed. Included an as-built plan, temporary erosion sediments will be picked up, and that was pretty much it. And the Chapter 91 dock license, but this is a sale home, so although that plan may have changed, I understand. Let me just show you some photos here. So we did have, there was considerable discussion. I've been out here a couple of times to look at the erosion controls that existed on the property. And this is, Brendan, if you see any tricks that I'm missing here, just let me know. That may have been it, or maybe not.
At the top, maybe there's so many things open.
Well, there's not that many things open there, but I know it's a town computer, but well, I was keeping that open because it was my alternative, but all right, we'll go with that.
For Wi-Fi.
I mean, I'm blowing through it.
Glenn, did you want to talk about any of this? Was there any specific thing that you want?
We were just talking this afternoon about my 55-gallon spill kit, and then he told me that he had this thing tonight, and he said he's having a problem seeing, so he asked me to just step in. The
Yeah.
only thing I have to say is they are moving from the original house they lived in right next door. They split the lot. They moved over to this. We permitted this through DC, and the only thing that might come up, because I'm not sure he was aware of it, I don't believe off the top of my head that the Chapter 91 was done.
Right.
Because I wasn't contacted, and normally when we do the notice of intent, we do the Chapter 91. We've done a few, so if there's anything except for that.
So, yeah, so
you
Glenn's
would
right.
know- You would know, because I wasn't involved after we permitted it. There was not too much discussion.
So initially, this was going to be a for sale property, so the Chapter 91 didn't make sense, and my plan was to put it in perpetuity on the COC so that the person who comes in has to file for it. But then he informed me on my last visit that him and his wife had pretty much considered that they were going to move over because they weren't getting what they were hoping for, and it was smaller. It's a 2-bedroom, and their house is a 3-bedroom. So now the plan is to move over. I didn't realize the implication of that until just now, that there was no dock permit. So how we want to handle this moving forward, I mean, we could put this in perpetuity. This man's done a lot of work on the lake in the past. And so I think if we put it in perpetuity still, I think it would be addressed immediately.
Is this the older couple?
Well, it is an older couple. There are a lot of them on the lake.
The guy and lady that
Yeah, they're
was
cute. They were
arguing
cute.
over, one wanted to stay there and the other one was coming over here.
The wife
Yeah,
always,
so you do recall
Yeah.
that, yes.
the wife always wanted to move into the littler house.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I
So
make a motion to approve it.
I guess, yeah, I would propose that we approve it and in perpetuity, I'll make sure that he's on the agenda for a dock permit.
Yeah.
I believe his other home does have a dock, or he has applied in the past.
Thank you again. We'll talk to Mr. Lento, we'll move forward with an RDA to get that going with you.
Okay.
Just the same.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to issue the COC and dock permit in perpetuity, however Rich puts that in words.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve 26 Laurelwood Drive COC.
First by Ms. Foley,
Second.
second by Mr. Avery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Robin, did you say anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, aye. So motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Ray.
And lastly, for COCs, all right. Where's my line? 128 Sutton Road.
Okay, so this is pretty straightforward as well. This was a septic design that we all approved back in July. There's really not much to this. Erosion controls were inputted. I can show you what those look like back on May 28th. I'll give you a flavor. Visited the site. All the erosion controls were really nicely put in, and they look good. You can see. So we had to check off as far as that, just to give you an idea. I mean, it's the same thing all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's before, and then after. And so even, I mean, by the time I got out there, the grass had actually grown in here and the septic was already in. So the only thing missing, and I've informed him he can pull up the erosion controls. This is a home which is, he's fixing up for his parents who are deceased, and it's going to be sold. So those will all get picked up.
Okay. So looking for a motion to approve the COC for 128 Sutton Road.
I make a motion to approve the COC for 128 Sutton Road.
First by Mr. Avery,
I second.
second by Ms. Jewell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, next we have some enforcement orders that were given out, and we're going to start with 23 South Shore Road, which is, I think we have a contractor here for 23 South Shore Road. Is Reggie here?
Reggie's here, and both Reggie and Mary, why don't you guys come on up here?
Okay. So, Commission, Rich had put a document in the folder for this one, and basically this is, our directions as far as enforcement orders. So Rich will presented them the enforcement order. We're, basically ratifying the enforcement order where any changes to the enforcement order and also a path forward so that it's out. So that's basically summarizing what this says here. If you guys should have read it, but if you haven't, that's kind of brief
What's the
summary.
street name?
South,
Over here.
South Shore.
Yeah.
25, right?
Sorry, it's 23.
It's 23.
It's 23,
It
yeah.
was,
I was
missed.
very confused.
This was the one that it's 23 and 20.
She-
It's the whole backside of the property. So they're appearing before us, one at a time, and this is the contract.
I see.
So, Rich, why don't you take
Yeah.
us through?
So I put a presentation together to make sure that,
It's 23.
so I put a presentation together so you guys can make sure you see all the details, make sure I present everything that needed to be presented. Okay, so Mary Smith is the owner. Reggie was the contractor. Originally, I went out to, I just want to document the fact that this is the home right here. And you can see where basically where this fire pit is the 50-foot, or just past the fire pit. So this is the pre-existing fire pit that existed here before. It's still on Google Maps. And then the 100-foot pretty much encompasses the entire house here. So I'm just trying to show you where we're at as far as what is covered. So the initial request or discovery, I went out and conducted a routine site visit for an administrative approval. If you recall, this was a tree which was badly damaged. You might remember these pictures. It was an admin approval. See the beaver damage here. When I was out there, was questioning me about a wall that's actually on 25 on the property. Oops. And so we had a discussion, and Reggie was there, and so both of them. Reggie had some experience working on the lake in the past, but I spent some time educating them as to the role of conservation on the lake, and that because when I was there, I noticed that there was a fire pit that was being worked on. There was the fire pit that you saw in that Google was kind of expanded, and there was some work going on. I didn't think it was particularly impactful whatsoever at that point, but it led us to a discussion about what is responsible and if you're going to do any work on the lake. And it really was at that point I was just thinking about the wall, not the trees. What I needed to do as part of that was I wanted to bring the paperwork back out to Mary so she could actually sign it because she didn't come to the office. And so when I came back out there, what I found was, oh, by the way, this is some of the debris that was there too, that was associated with the fire pit. But I was told that, Reggie told me that would be removed that day. The next day, when I came back to bring the paperwork, so this is all on the 23rd, what I found was a significant amount of work had been done, and it included some hardscape, where there was full replacement of the stone wall and walkway patio in the no disturbed area. So there's patio back here, it's half completed. Looks like this walkway had been torn up. There was heavy machinery, which I'll show you, that was being stored right on the slope. And there was no spill container, of course. There was evidence of washout of the cement, and the cement mixing containers were right there on the bank. There was a hose that led right to there as well. And of course, there was no erosion controls. I spoke to Mary and to Reggie, and I told them that I was going to issue a cease and desist. So I know this might be the first time for some of you on this. So typically what you try to do is you try to, with applicants, the idea is you cease and desist. It's not really an action item as much as it is just stop. Let's take care of this. Let's permit it correctly. So I moved Mary in the direction of an RDA. I felt that was appropriate for for what I was looking at. I gave her all the paperwork, and didn't hear anything for a while. And until all of a sudden I started seeing some stockpiles, and a lot more work was being done. So now you see that the entire area had been sort of torn up. And
This is after you were already there?
mhm.
Third time.
Third time.
Oops. And so this is the skid steer that I saw stored there. This is the cement mixer that I mentioned earlier. And so this is the notice that I gave them with the, basically, this is just documenting that I gave both Reggie and the applicant the email, and basically telling them, no unauthorized shoreline hardscaping. What I saw was improper heavy equipment management, absence of sediment controls, and environmental pollution debris. I'll also point out that there was cement bags just right here. This is shortly after a rainfall. And you'll see that there's no erosion controls here either. So that's what I witnessed there. Next steps was for them to actually apply for an RDA. So I'm just sort of documenting the next steps. Despite the June 23rd cease and desist masonry layout among the shoreline path and unstabilized soil disturbance, I came back to find that there was even more disturbance. So that resulted in a formal notice of non-compliance and enforcement order. And that was on July the 13th. It took this long to come back out here because I was expecting an RDA to come, and I went out to follow up on that, and I found more work being done. However, when I went out there, I already had an enforcement order in my hand. I didn't actually issue that enforcement order because Mary met me at the door and just wanted a little bit of help with filling out the RDA. And so in lieu of that,
They didn't need it, they were already doing work.
I get it. But in lieu of that, that was sort of the purpose of this. So I figured just move forward with the RDA. And so this is what I was looking at when I came back. And so you can see the work on this had changed. Yeah, that's more of the hosing. The walls now, these walkways have now been installed. Down here, the patio had been completed. There's still no erosion controls, and you can kind of see all of the clean out hoses, etc. These are the trees that were permitted, however, and these are all permittable trees and the sizes that were taken out. So the shoreline looks really good now. It's really open for her. She left some stuff, and she left all the roots for stabilization. So the shoreline is still stable. Mary discussed about plantings along that shoreline, so there is plans at some point, but just wanted to highlight. In this final trip out here, I found that the stockpiles had moved back here, but you can see all the work had, for the most part, been done. We can't see here. So yeah, this is the state at this point. And so just a quick go through. So on July 20th, I observed massive unpermitted stockpiles and raw loom imported from in the lake area. July 20th that afternoon, by the time I got over there, because I was out there doing a water sample, so I saw this from the lake. And when I came in, all of that had been spread and seeded. So this work just continued to go, even though I'd spoken about this a couple of times. And now this is all the raked out area. It's all seeded. To be quite frank, I think it looks quite good. I let Reggie know that I think he did really good work, even though it's unpermitted. This was just before some large rainfall came. I absolutely insisted that they get some erosion controls up. So this is when my second formal one that I actually executed That when I saw all of this work, it had to be issued because the erosion controls weren't there. We were expecting rain shortly after that, so I issued it to both Reggie and to the applicant, the homeowner. And so this is the copy of that. Hopefully had a chance to read that. And so when I went back and gave them that, I had a discussion because the erosion controls were going up the next day, but Reggie seemed to not be familiar with the process of actually, what you do is you trench in the bottom, because you have to trench in order to get proper controls of the sediments, because otherwise the water will just wash out. He wanted to put the loom on top, so you just sort of fold it over and throw it on top. But the problem with that is you get any sort of water movement, it's just going to wash right out from the bottom. I tried to make that point to him, but I wasn't sure I was being heard, so I made sure I followed up with an email with how to install sediment fence. So that's a link to a YouTube video which clearly shows how to do that. I've been out there since we've had some rainfalls. Again, sort of a walkthrough of all the dates at this point. I've been out there following this large rainfall that we had. I didn't see any erosion, even though the controls are in and not proper. There was no washout and no indication of anything close to erosion into the lake. So I think the saving grace here is that this entire property is very, very flat, and all the area that was worked on is a very flat area. I've gone through and documented all of this stuff, and so I wanted to make sure it was documented here. And I don't want to necessarily go through, reiterate everything I've already said, but in the course of time, if anybody has any questions here. Yep.
I think it was the second time that you went to your home and were going to do the enforcement. Coincidentally, you were filling out the RDA right then. And
She had it half filled out and needed some help, so I helped her out with it.
So were you not available in the office? That if you'd had questions, he'd have been more than happy to help you?
Was there any attempt to try to contact me when you're trying to fill out that RDA form?
I can't hear
Just
you,
speaking to
ma'am.
the microphone. We can't hear you.
Yeah, he is available, but you didn't bother?
It took me a while, and then I asked my husband.
Yeah, that's his job. He would have been more than happy to help you the first time he came out.
No, I did ask him.
Well, what made you continue on after
Yeah.
you got the first order to stop? What gave you the thing in your mind to say, this is okay, I can just keep going a little further without
3
filling out
times.
the paperwork?
It's a misunderstanding on my part.
You didn't understand
because
it? You could have called
I
them.
have, not to make excuses, but I'm dyslexic and I have,
But you didn't understand the word stop.
no, it's not that. I am totally misunderstood because my mind processes things differently. I have an executive
This is Reggie.
disorder.
Yeah,
And I can
Reggie
prove it.
helps. This is what.
I'm also, I suffer from ADHD, so I get things confused and, with my dyslexia. I never meant to go over his head, and my apologies to Richard.
The builder
Doesn't make any
additionally,
sense.
you have problems as well. You didn't understand either. You continued the work anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were under the assumption that when he said to stop, because we explained that we have the other bed on, which is on her property, on her side of the house that she lives in, that we should stop and not do that one, but the one that we have started, which was existing before, we just let's say unearthed the stones and put a base underneath, compact it, and made the stones look nice and flat, as you see in the pictures. We thought we could finish whatever that was. we're
But he
doing
had
it,
told you.
And that's why I proceeded. I would never go.
Why?
against
You-
the
Wait,
order or
wait,
anything.
it
So
sounds,
what does, I just don't understand what you don't know what stop means. That's my problem. 3 times you were told to stop and you continued.
No,
So what
first
does
time
your
was-
definition of stop mean?
The first time when I spoke, he spoke with us, I even told him that he was very friendly, which we didn't expect, especially, dealing with.
So because he was friendly, you continued?
He's not there, it's like whatever was there left to do was like so little, and.
doesn't sound good.
Finish whatever that was.
But he told you to stop and you continued on. I can't understand why you continued on after he told you to
Because I
stop.
misunderstood what he's saying, stop.
Not once, 3 times, and you continued on.
So Rich, did we enforce any fines on this behavior? What's the penalty?
Right. So just to finish off with the presentation that's here, I just wanted to show you those erosion controls that were up, et cetera. Essentially, what you have to do here is to ratify the fact, the order that I gave, basically, because that order comes from you. I can issue it, but it's your responsibility to enforce it. So that's step 1. Step 2 is you can add to that any sort of stipulations. For example, one stipulation would be that, and that's why we took the RDA, and we put it off so that we can take a look at the RDA next. Because if you want to condition that RDA, or if you want to make it an NOI, right? So just like, so there's that process that's still withstanding.
Yeah, but there's no consequence.
No, I understand. I'm getting to that. And so there is, as part of the town bylaw, that you can fine up to $300 a day, primarily, and that would come, and usually it's associated with a day. So the very first indication that I told them to stop, you could essentially issue to either of them or both of them or one of them any of those fines that you find are applicable.
It really doesn't sound to me like an RDA, particularly since, Mary, it sounds like life can be difficult for you if you have these understanding issues, dyslexia, ADHD. My son has ADHD, so I know how difficult, but this is, I think an NOI with an engineer, we've got a few in the room right now, could explain things better. I mean, I question how much of that is your job. And I don't mean not explaining the RDA, I mean when you were giving them examples of what to do. But to me, honestly, there's been a complete disregard of laws, of us as a commission, and really of the lake. And that's where I'm sorry, but I really feel there should be fines, at least.
It's not fair to everyone else that lives on the lake, that follows the rules, that follows the process. And perhaps you have an understanding problem, but by his 3rd visit, and he has said, stop, you continue, you dug up sidewalks, you leveled ground, you had no erosion control. It started with a tree nibbled down by a beaver, and it turned into a whole thing. It doesn't matter if it looks nice or it doesn't. Lucky you, your property looks nice, but everyone else on the lake follows the rules. And my viewpoint is that you blatantly disobeyed the rules. And I would recommend, from my point of view, I don't know what the rest of the board sees, that you should be fined a significant amount for your disobedience.
It was really a misunderstanding. I did not know, I just.
Well, you own a home, you pay your bills, you live every day, you're able to do
It's actually
that. So a gentleman coming 3 times, maybe once you might not understand. Maybe once you didn't understand the rules, but twice and 3 times, blatantly spreading loam, putting down grass seed, I think that the builder is equally as responsible as you are. You own the property. It was your responsibility to stop, but he should not have continued. He knows better. Are you a licensed builder? Do you carry a license? Do you carry a license? No.
So she needs to
So,
get an engineer.
and
Stop.
you understood what the gentleman said 3 times.
I explained to you. how
Because he
that-
smiled and was kind, you felt you didn't have to worry about him because he was too nice.
That's your perception. I'm not-
Yo, that's what she
Yes.
said.
And it's recorded.
That's what she said. He was nice.
Just one at a
so-
time, guys, one at a time.
Sorry, sorry.
So you're recommending some fines? You're
Yes.
Recommending some fines?
That's my
And
recommendation.
and hire a real engineer to do
Well-
the
Yeah,
idea.
licensed and
So,
I would find both parties. Did I understand that you said you can find both parties?
Yes.
Yes, I would find both parties.
Every
He
day.
for continuing and her for not.
Stopping it.
And maybe from the second warning, not to the first.
I will.
I'll give her the flexibility that perhaps she didn't understand the first time, but you can't not understand 3 times.
so I got a couple things here. We got open land. It's already opened. We got the silt fence that's still not properly installed.
It looked like it was coming down a little.
Like I said, it's
So we
not,
still have an active site. So we got to keep that in mind. You know, it's not just all about fines and everything else. Yes, I agree that, you know, there's some issues here, but you know, ultimately we want to stop, mitigate anything else from going into the lake further. What is completion? I mean, what is, have we seeded? Have we hydro-seeded? Have we put down straw? Have we seed?
And the reason why I spread the loom and fix it, because the terrain was all ups and down, and when you drive the Bobcat around, it spreads out some more, and it causes more damage. So I rake it and put a layer of loam, probably like 1.5
Mhm.
inches of loam, you know, just to make it even, you know, and put the grass seed on it.
But perhaps that loom should not have even been there or delivered because he stopped before it was even present on the site. He told you to stop before there was any loom even delivered there. But you continued. So you wouldn't have had to worry about spreading it and all of that if you didn't have it delivered, if you had followed what the agent had
I
said.
didn't want to leave you guys a mess, you know.
Go ahead, Patty.
I suggest that they quickly hire somebody that knows what they're doing to secure the site, stop all the work, find them from the day one, both parties, because they knew what they were doing, and they knew it was wrong, and they continued to do it. They both speak English, they understand English, so they knew what they were doing. It was not, you can't set a precedent for everybody in the town that we're gonna say, okay, you don't understand, it's okay, we'll give you a little leeway. So they need to hire somebody, not
I see a
him, to do the
therapist
silt
and,
fence,
I have a.
and that's my motion. That's what I say.
I have a,
Go ahead. And I apologize. What was your name again?
I said, I see
Mary.
a therapist because I have an executive dysfunction. I do think backwards. And I didn't try to step over him. I just misunderstood him until the very end. And then I realized that I wasn't supposed to do what I was supposed to do. I thought he said just to do the RDA. And I didn't know anything else. You know, it's all new to me. And I just received the property. So it's actually my first time being responsible for it and trying to hire people. And I'm not familiar with hiring people and, what's supposed to be done. I mean, I thank Richard for helping me out. But I wasn't trying to go over, or not listening to him. That it's not true, I could prove it that I have, executive dysfunction, and I'm dyslexic, and my therapist can verify for that. And
Ma'am, I
have-
appreciate your problems, but we're not going to feel bad for you. This is continued from June 16th until July 21st, over a month. If you didn't understand, you should have sought assistance. You should have come to the town hall. You should have sought out Mr. Parent. You should have asked questions and told him, I don't understand what you told me when you were at my home, and I need clarification. You don't just say because the man was nice, we're going to continue anyway. It's your responsibility as a homeowner to know the rules, to know what you're supposed to do, and to keep things right. And every property owner in the town, whether they live on the lake or not, have rules to follow. They have to go to the building inspector if they're building an addition. There's rules to owning a home. And it's your responsibility as the homeowner to know that and learn that. I'll give you that his first visit, maybe you didn't understand, but you should have followed up. By the second time, you weren't saying, why does this man keep coming to my house telling me to stop? So I feel badly that perhaps you have some physical ailments, but that does not come into play here, and it's not going to change what we see is right in protecting the lake.
Thank you, Pam.
Rich. If you don't mind, I'd like to give my recommendation here. My recommendation here, because you've heard testimony and you've seen that there definitely was confusion every time I went. I spent a lot of time explaining all aspects of what we were trying to achieve. And I constantly was getting confusion even after I explained it multiple times. So I've seen this. This isn't just today. This is multiple times. So my ultimate goal, in one of my goals here, was we have a wall that is definitely impactful into the lake, and which is actually at 25, the property for which she resides. I thought that instilling this, because I believe she's planning on having Reggie help her with that as well. I could be wrong, but I think the goal here was to make sure that we got an NOI here and professional services as far as this impactful project, which is forthcoming. It needs to get done. You saw the wall, and it needs to happen fairly quickly. Or it needs to have sediment controls put out in front. So I would recommend that one of the things, but it's hard to do because this is a separate property, so we can't really apply that. But we can probably, in a separate piece, is to require that sediment controls be put out on the adjoining property to make sure that any sort of wall disintegration that's occurring there doesn't contaminate the lake. That's number one.
The 23 and 25 owned by the same person?
Correct. Am I correct about that? Okay. So
You have both properties?
my second recommendation is that this project is essentially done. It is, there's seed planted. I haven't been out there to see it growing, but my guess is that any sort of rain incidences that I've been out there to see, there is no contamination of the lake. If there was, I would be recommending an NOI, and we could discuss about mitigation on the lake, on land underwater. However, that is not the case here. So my recommendation is to move forward with the RDA. We can hear that. You can condition it as we want moving forward, and not to require an NOI. As far as fines, I was looking back and I spoke with Joey about this, is whether or not there's not a lot of history here as far as fines with this commission. And so it's hard to look back and see that. So I just keep in mind that we're sort of establishing, you're kind of doing an establishment here. I will also tell you that there are probably a few other enforcements coming your way as well. So this is not the first one. And I think ultimately, my final recommendation here is that you remember that this commission's goal is the protection of the lake. Okay, and so sometimes lessons are learned in different ways. This experience here today has probably been one that's rather traumatic, as you can imagine. If it was you, I think you would find it to be sort of a life-altering experience. The money that you apply to this is inconsequential to the experiences that are undergoing currently. And so you should sort of keep that in mind as well. I think that my recommendation is that whatever fines that you elicit are enough to say that, you did something wrong, but not so much that it becomes a hardship. I will tell you that there certainly on the contractor side, there seems to be hardship as it relates to this, to, the work environment. I can't speak to the applicant, but I can say that it's been, the goal here is that you've been impactful. I think your statements today have been, will have an effect, and we have another project moving forward. So I guess my recommendation is to show leniency in this regard, and just keep the goal in mind of what your role is protection of the lake. I understand it feels as if you've been, and not to take this personal, because I know it feels personal. It felt personal to me for a long time as well, because every time I go out there, I'd see this work going done, and it was very frustrating. But, and I can imagine it's the same for you as well.
I disagree with your recommendation.
So do I.
I understand.
I do, to a point, some leniency I do agree with. I don't think there should be a fine from June 16th. So I'll give the understanding that there was confusion and lack of understanding. But there needs to be consequences
Yeah.
because it's just not fair to every other resident in the town of Webster. And, this is going to sound so horribly insensitive, but if you come before us and you cry, then we'll be lenient. And I don't think that's acceptable. And anyone else that comes with a violation as well, we have to be standard across the board. We have to have standard work.
Right.
Doesn't matter who the person is in front of us. It has to be standard work.
Right. And Rich, if you don't.
And my last thing is, there's not a large history of fining people, but I've, followed the commission for a long time, even before I joined, and I've been on over 3 years now. I've never seen blatant lack of attention to orders to cease. So that's how I feel.
And I'm going to recall another situation where we were disregarded. And when they finally came in front of here, they had a litany of physical things. That was the wall. And yeah, so if you look at the lake, there's a lot of older people. And every time they're going to get their work done, if something goes wrong, and we got the knee, the head, the heart. I've got heart issues. So this was a little bit too much for me to be lenient. I will not agree with an RDA. I will only pass an NOI.
Sometimes the hardest lessons in life are the best ones to learn by. They're not children, they knew what they were doing.
So would you agree to ask the applicant to submit for an NOI instead of the RDA in a timely manner and waive said penalty if was heard? Just throwing it out there.
I think a fine has to be imposed. I don't know,
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, so when? Because he never actually gave the actual official paper on the 21st, and then they stopped, right? Or did they continue?
No, it continued.
When you handed them the
Said 3
official
times.
paper?
Yeah.
So this letter that I have that you sent, that's dated July 13th,
Never got given.
but
That
you
was not
wrote a
executed.
letter and address,
Right, I was pointing out that was not executed. I had it in hand.
you never
That's
gave it to them.
Correct.
That's correct.
But you went
That's when
there
I
3
received
times,
the
so
RDA.
From the 23rd to
You
now.
had it
Oh,
in
that's when
hand.
she was working on the paperwork. It
Correct.
was On
That
the
day,
13th.
coincidentally, as you were knocking on the door.
Yeah.
How
No,
coincidental?
trust me.
She legitimately had it mostly filled out. She just needed some help with some spots and how to answer it.
I know, I can't accept that then even after that point, the loom, I mean, Reggie wanted the property to look nice, but it wasn't ready to look nice yet, right? They didn't need to dump the massive loom stockpile in the yard. They should not have continued at that point.
From
So
June 23rd.
they knew they shouldn't have continued.
And I know that property.
So
but
I
it
don't know,
hasn't
I mean,
looked
if you want to
nice.
issue a one-day fine and make them do an NOI, but there has to be some consequence.
Right.
I mean, it just has to be, or.
Yeah, why are we here?
Pandemonium, you know what I mean? Then anybody can just do whatever they want.
So, I mean, a fine to be discussed upon completion? I mean, do we want to see how fast
You'll
this?
find now from the 23rd to the end of the 21st, for both parties, they should be fined daily. They knew what they were doing, and we have to move forward. We have to have standard work. We can't just make
The fine is up to $300 per day,
per day, correct? And
So
they should get the
with-
max
okay,
from June 23rd
to win.
to when they stop the work. Are they still working there, or have they stopped working?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
So
They're,
whenever they stop the work, because we don't know if they're working every day. And it's just blatant disrespect for the board, for the town, for the abutters, for everybody. We can't just let people do what they want and then say, oh, I didn't know, but I kept going because you were nice.
So Rich, you had your third conversation, verbal conversation on July 13th. You didn't hand,
Correct.
correct? So that was the third time you visited and you were like, what?
That's the third time you
I'm
said no.
impressed that you were still nice because I'm not sure I would have had that ability.
Your assumption, I was definitely showing emotion about this. I was disappointed in every time.
And the 13th, is
So
that the
whether
second
it's,
or
I don't
third?
think we,
But the goal in my visit was to educate and make sure people understood. So
yeah.
being upset with people doesn't
help.
help them understand what you're trying to
understand.
convey.
Correct.
From the second time you came to the third time, and then they stopped doing work. So I think that's what should be fined.
From the 13th to the 21st?
That's what
That's
I
what-
would say, the
Yeah.
13th to the 21st, because, I mean, it continued. The loom came and was dumped and,
Before the
and
23rd.
the rationale was because, I mean, he wanted the yard to look nice, but it couldn't look nice without the rules being enforced, right? You shouldn't have moved forward at that point. I don't understand why you didn't understand what Rich was saying and you continued to do work without the proper permissions. That's what I'm having a hard time understanding, why you continued. And that's why I believe you need to be fined as well, because you did not listen. You said, we're just gonna keep going anyway.
It's not that I didn't listen, and it's not that I want to disregard what I said. It's because the way the yard was at that time, you know, to put a layer of
You made it
just
worse.
to make it look all right.
We did-
I didn't suppose that was gonna be such a big deal. And
Excuse me, sir.
That's what I said.
I'm your
I
neighbor.
understand everything that you guys are saying. I
He-
see the frustration in you as much as I see, you know, all myself, the way you guys are conducting this meeting.
But he spoke to you about erosion controls. He spoke to you about putting barriers to protect anything from running into the lake. So it wasn't about making the property look good. It's about protecting the lake. It's about keeping the lake clean and safe for the fish and the turtles and everything that lives under the water, right? It's not just because we want to look at a pretty lake.
Listen, if I knew that was gonna be such a big deal or such a issue, I would have stopped completely without putting any rule in there at all.
And
You
that's
should
what
have
you should
stopped
have done.
completely the first time he told you. That's what we don't understand. You're
So-
saying it
And
now,
I'm
but,
gonna go back and tell you again, I thought by grading.
well, you shouldn't have thought.
the way it was
Stop
supposed to
means
be.
stop.
I-
Stop
I was
doesn't
doing
mean think
something
about
good,
it.
not to not make it, you know, look like a mess. or-
Sir, I'm one of your I'm one of the
I didn't
neighbors.
mean to be disrespectful
It's always been a mess.
Well,
Well, that's
you
what
were.
I'm trying to explain to you, why I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But that's why I feel that you deserve to be fined as well, because you didn't follow what was told to you, right?
So
So what we need is a ratification.
first, yeah, I guess, first I need a ratification of the enforcement
Correct.
order.
Yep.
With these modifications?
You can add right, so ratification with fines, and then we can take up the RDA separately.
Well, I need to put the path forward in,
We still have to hear the RDA.
well, is the path forward in RDA or is the path forward in NOI?
Well, as part of the RDA, it would be a positive
Was a
determination.
positive, okay, so they still have to go, we're still going to do the RDA and then, okay.
Question.
Yep.
Do we have to vote on the RDA and then eliminate it, or however the vote goes, because I don't know, and I don't care, I know how I'm gonna vote. Do we have to vote on the RDA to either give it a negative or positive determination before we move on to the NOI?
It's on the agenda, so we do the
RDA.
enforcement.
Enforcement first.
Yeah, enforcement requiring the RDA.
But I don't
No,
want
no,
to do.
we're not requiring an RDA.
Okay.
Apply
So-
for the RDA. The RDA is going to be.
The RDA
and
is heard
found-
separately. You'll make a determination as to that. If it's a positive determination, it's require them to do an NOI.
Right, that's,
Correct. So the
So the-
RDA, so what you want to do right now is ratify the enforcement order. You can add things such as maintaining the erosion controls that are currently there, or anything else that you think need to be added, if there's anything else you think that should be done, and you can add fines as you see fit.
Well, they definitely need somebody to put some silt fence up the right way, and erosion controls or whatever you want to call it, immediately, like
Okay.
tomorrow.
So, right,
So I'd
again,
like
so you
to
can
make a
Not the
condition it.
landscaper, because he doesn't know how to do it. So they have to get somebody who.
Well, he
knows
has a
how to do it.
YouTube video. I think he can do it. He just has to watch it.
So
I'll
Are-
make a motion to ratify the cease and assist order on the property of 23 South Shore Road in Webster, with the addition of maintaining erosion controls until the project is totally completed, and the addition of fines for total disregard of the education and information that was brought forward from July 13th until, I would say, today's date, because I think it's clear now that no work is going to be done without proper.
I haven't been working with her since the last time he was there.
So all work has ceased, I believe, since the 21st.
Since the 21st, so then from July 13th to July 21st, I would like to see the fine imposed on the landscaper, and additionally, a fine imposed on the homeowner.
For the max. Correct?
I am open to suggestion,
Don't care.
250? 250,
is it 300 total between
Okay,
the
then.
two?
250.
Hold on, I just need to look at how this is worded.
That seems fair. So
Great.
250,
Each.
$250 a day from July 13th to July 21st. 250, I said.
100.
No, I said two. From the landscaper, he has to
And,
pay his for that time, and the homeowner has to pay the fee for the same amount of time.
yeah, too bad.
So that's 300 each, 250 each party for those days. The landscaper and the homeowners.
And we do have the ability to do 400 a day, but we're not going to do that. We're doing $250 a day.
For 9 days.
Right.
Correct. Each party.
And
And that should be paid before the start of the project, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
I said that should be paid before the start of the project, right?
Start of what project?
When they go into the, continue on with the project.
So you're talking about the,
Fines, when does it have to be paid by? Before they start the new NOI?
Yeah, we have
you can impose that timing.
Yes.
So I guess the question I have is fines typically 100 to 300 per day can be assessed for ongoing noncompliance failure to meet established stabilization. Does that like combined
No.
100 to
each.
300? That's each?
Each,
Yeah, it's per day.
Per
per person.
Per person. Okay. So we have a motion for us. Does anyone want to second that or
I'll
make any
second it.
suggestions?
I second it.
Okay.
It's your turn. Everybody seconds now.
First by Ms. Sharon, second by Ms. Foley, and that was the ratification of the enforcement order with the fines of $250 a day for applicant and contractor for 9 days from the 13th to the 21st of July for not ceasing to desist
Compliant.
immediately until that RDA was submitted on the 21st.
And erosion control's gotta be fixed.
In the erosion.
In the erosion controls.
Okay, let's get going. That's waiting.
Is that?
Yep.
Okay. I know we have other enforcements, but I kind
Do
of
you have
want
to
to just,
vote? Everybody have to vote on it?
Yes.
okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Reggie,
So-
quick question for you, Reggie. Will you be able to trench those in properly?
What is it?
Trenching in those erosion controls?
Do a
you-
site visit.
So you need to dig down. So in that email that I sent you, there's a YouTube video which shows how you have to dig down into the ground.
I'll be very honest with you. I saw the email like 3 or 4 days ago because I don't follow emails that much. I do like text messages and phone calls, calling people back and texting people back. But I just saw like 3 or 4
Do me a
days
favor and
ago.
go back to that email. There's a link in there that brings you to a YouTube video.
Yeah,
that
I
shows you
saw that.
how to properly trench in erosion controls.
And, that was the.
And I'll
gotta
come
be
out and
paid
take a look
before
at
they start
those.
the NOI. That's gonna be in there.
You think you can get done by the end of the week?
The fines have to be paid before
What is
they
it?
start
Do you
the
think you can get
NOI.
done by the end of the week?
If I can do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can.
okay.
And the period of the 20, what was the first day that you trying to enforce? I work only 6 days after that now because she didn't have the money to buy the loan. And I was working at another place and I basically worked like 6 days after the day you told me. That's it. And the day that that was 6 days included the day that you came last and saw me over there spreading the loan.
Case closed. Move on.
Yeah.
So I didn't work like 13 days, 15 days, 20 days.
Yeah, that's
Because I
understood.
have other jobs.
Yeah, that's understood, Reggie. Unfortunately, I think what the point here is that the site was open.
It wasn't you performing the work there, it was days that the work wasn't performed, wasn't right.
And knowing that everything was pre-existing, the walkways were there, you can see in the photos over there. I took a bunch of photos like the before and after, which I do every job I do. And I just changed when I was coming here, I got the wrong clipboard. I got the one that I was doing estimates today in Boston, and I put them in the truck. And when I got here, and I parked right there across the street, I look at the clipboard looking for the pictures because I want to show you like before and after. Everything is in the same way, in the same place. We didn't do
Reggie,
any like extra
missing the
work.
point.
The fire pit that was there, that was like 9 feet, a metal ring, like, I don't know how you call that thing, but we did one that is like 6 feet, which is smaller. But the area for the outside of the ring, was extended a little more, but that's it.
Reggie,
Everything
work
was
is
existing.
work. We voted and it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Reggie, so what I'll do is I'll bring the paperwork to Mary. Is that okay? I don't know, unless you want to
Yeah.
come to the office on Wednesday and pick it up. Otherwise, I'll bring it to Mary if that's,
And, okay, so now what should we do? Should we spread the rest of the loom and do the planting or
No.
we stop?
Oh, my God.
No,
No?
nothing,
Okay,
nothing until
Nothing.
so that-
just leave it like that.
cease and desist.
No work, zero.
Do you understand that? Reggie? You understand no work?
I heard and I understand.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all we
Because
need to hear from
you
you.
know that you can additionally
So-
be fined if you continue to move forward. So if
For
you
each
do anything
violation,
after all of
not
this
just-
and this fine, you can be fined again. If
So-
you do anything.
Believe me, I don't want to go to all this bull again. Believe me,
So-
I don't.
Reggie, the next step is that we're going to discuss is an RDA. Is something which is intended to be a very simple permit with very simple conditions associated with it. And that's what the original proposal was. What the board is looking for now is to move it into a full permit, and it allows me to condition and do more conditions on the project. So it's almost like we're going to start all over again. And so there'll be a process for that. So there'll be an expectation that work needs to be done moving forward, but we need to, a full, an NOI needs to be applied for. So that's what the plan was, so that work that you're talking about that's remaining, the expectation is that it's still going to need to get done. It just can't get done until it's fully permitted properly.
So what you want me to do now?
So can we have a vote on the RDA?
Sure,
Can we have a vote on the RDA for this project?
yeah.
Okay,
Huh?
can't
So-
motion, wait.
Motion
I
for,
don't want to get into the Devon thing, remember? I don't want the RDA, so.
so you want
Correct, so
positive?
you're going to make a motion to
Positive.
negative, I mean, for a
Positive.
Okay,
positive.
Positive.
well, okay, I didn't know how to word it,
Yes.
because I didn't want to do it, and then have to say I voted against
Okay,
it.
so,
I vote for a positive RDA for 23, 25, South Shore Road.
Both, yeah.
okay, first, I apologize. So that is a positive determination of applicability for the project at 25,
23,
23.
25.
23/25, or are we? just
23
saying
South Shore.
23 South Shore.
What happens to 25?
There's no work going on at 25. The wall is at 25. While there's some storage of like plants that were being planned on being planted there, there's no work that I saw going on at 25.
Okay, so this is only 23 South Shore Road.
I second the motion.
Okay, first,
Dr.
Joel?
first by Ms. Jewell, second by Ms. Foley. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. So you'll work with them to come up with an
We're done.
NOI
I'll be in touch, Reg.
to come
Okay.
for us. Is that-
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Next on our agenda is the other. The other enforcement order is
Well, you could
The one
mention
that just left.
12.
12 Cooper Road. So 12 Cooper Road,
I'll give you an update.
we're gathering some more information, so we're actually going to continue that until the 17th, 8/17. So can I have a
I make a motion to continue 12 Cooper Road to 8/17/26.
first by Ms. Foley,
Second.
second by Mr. Avery? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Next on the agenda is 49 Birch Island Road, and we have Glenn, first, let's have our agent take us through this, and then Glenn can speak on the behalf of the candidate. Go ahead, Rich.
Okay. I have another presentation for you. Assuming I can get this up here. Okay. Okay. So this was initiated by there was a complainant that made me aware of the fact that there had been some sand dumped at 49 Birch Island Road. John and Kathy Petto are the owners. When I went out there, I met Kathy. She was very nice to bring me back and show me and explain to me what had happened. So I clearly saw that there was sand. They have I have a photo in a moment to show you what the property looks like. But basically they have their home comes out and there's a very small area. It's all like the wall is like part of their foundation, but it's sort of extended out. They had put down sandbags for some of the weather, if you remember, in the spring, but it was, there's 2 points here. It sounds like the complainant was, said it was only there for a week. These folks said that it had been there all winter to sort of protect any sort of spray that comes up, because you could see how the water and the wave energy could splash up, and a north wind would actually just blow it right up onto their property. I was informed, I could clearly see all the spread of white sand, particularly close to the landing next to the house. And then a little bit further out, I could see how there was, it looked like maybe older sand. I saw vegetation mixed in. Maybe there's just less sand. But certainly there was certainly signs of fresh sand that had been spread there. And there was admission that they had done that. Particular point that was made was that they used play sand to fill up these sandbags, and that there were some rips in them, and that's why they got dumped. So it was sort of avoiding the fact that there was sort of pre-thought into what was going to ultimately end up with these sandbags. So the way we've dealt with this in the past in this office is we've usually done it in a way that puts people onto watch lists, and we inform them, we bring them in, we explain to them that it's wrong, it's not permissible. There's oftentimes, I didn't know, involved. There's oftentimes people who are not able, maybe not even capable of quite understanding or researching this sort of thing. And so there's that caveat. And then there's occasionally there's folks where, you know that they had to have known. And I think that sometimes people just, go ahead and do it and pay the consequences later. And there hasn't been any sort of payment of consequences. So I was sort of following that tradition. I wrote a letter on June the 3rd, indicating that they were being on a watch list, that no more work and it had been documented, and essentially asking them to halt any sort of activity like this anymore. And you would have saw the email for that. The complainant came to the office and had a couple of phone calls with her. And not particularly interested in that sort of approach. I felt it was fair for her to object to my standing, so I gave her numbers and sent an email where she was CC'd to both DEP and to Waterways. There was no response for a while from them, and eventually it turned out I got a response from DEP and Waterways, and essentially it's a mandate moving forward that anytime that we have any sort of sand dumping into the lake, we are to perform enforcement orders moving forward. Okay, so this follow-up, this warning type of approach is not condoned by DEP, and they want us to move forward with formal enforcement every single time. So that will be the last time that I will initiate that sort of approach when it comes to sand dumping. The reason why this is important is because the state, just a reminder that while this is conditioned in some places in the Massachusetts where it's not a great pond, typically when it is conditioned, play sand is the worst thing because it's got a lot of sediment in it and it can end up in the water column. Typically when it's conditioned, it is septic sand which is used, which is a much heavier sand, and it doesn't have all those sort of small particles associated with it. And it is conditioned in different parts of the state. I've been to a few meetings and spoken to a few other agents, and they were surprised that it was an issue, but they're not familiar with a Great Lake. So moving forward, I issued the what the state wanted, which essentially called for, and I probably should use so here's the warning that I sent, and hopefully you had a chance to sort of read through that word for word. The intention here was that I was citing the evidence that I had. I was citing the regulatory violations, and I was trying to give an educational approach to this so that they would understand why this is not necessarily a good thing for the lake, and trying to show that, in fact, there is actually harm in what was being done. So the enforcement, then I was given that DEP guided me in that there should be two pathways. One would be an NOI, whereby they go and try to file for permission to put down sand. However, with that said, there was clear that they did not want the sand that was there, so there has to be removal of the sand no matter what. And if they were to do that, there would be an NOI that would be required, as well as a Chapter 91 filing in order to pursue that. Alternatively, there was the option the other option was to do a restoration. So I believe that's what the plan is moving forward here. So all of the sand would again be removed, and essentially the ground underwater would be restored to its what it was previously. There was also discussion about, and the complaint brought up the fact that there were rocks that were moved, and the rocks need to be put back into the, and so essentially returning that area to the way it was previously. And so we talked a lot about play sand, rock excavation, and lack of authorization. And so this is just a picture of, basically this is their property. You can see this where the sandbags would have been. These are the sediment controls, the turbidity curtains that Glenn has erected upon being hired by, and he was hired rather quickly, and Glenn got these out really quickly as well. And so this is the state that it currently exists in. It's just sitting there waiting for you folks to make the next move as to how to proceed. So I've already discussed that. And so as discussed previously, your job today is to ratify the enforcement order that I've delivered. Ideally, you set date lines associated with the project the restoration project that needs to be done. You can consider any possible fines here. And then any sort of, and of course the maintenance of the booms can be conditioned as well.
Thank you, Rich. Glenn, did you want to add anything before the commission asks you questions, or?
We could.
Yep.
Thank you. If I could, we'd approach and give you some exhibits. I know
Sure.
you're gratified that enforcement. We, on 7/21, we installed a floating flotation boom.
I can share with her.
Thank you. And then we also, today, we put together for every brief flyover exhibit and ask Mather. So, Mr. Peto and his wife, thank you, did call us in. We took a look at it immediately. Within a few days, we ended up, I have a couple of floating siltation booms. We brought them in just so that that sand would stay cordoned off adjacent to the wall. There's very little action underneath the water in this one location. Erosive forces is most of the pebbles on the bottom, the natural pebbles that are beyond 6 feet. And to the right and left, smaller pebbles, which show that not a lot of larger rocks, cobbles. So lastly, the floating siltation boom will be tied into the shore when the work is done. It's 50 feet long, it is 5 feet in depth. The shoreline that's been altered is 44 feet from that floating, from the dock that you can see in the plan. This plan is looking northward, as you might expect, so the dock is to the west. The end of the concrete along the shoreline is totally 44 feet from the edge of the dock, running in the east direction. After that, there's cobbles on the shoreline that had been taken off the bottom over many years. I made an error when I was talking to my son today, we were dictating this. It said 70 years. We're not sure it's been 70 years. It could have been 70, it could have been 50. In 73, the house was rebuilt. So over the years, people have been taking the smaller cobbles and throwing them facing the water to the west. And so my approach to this would be, and we've done it before, it was on the email that we sent today. We did something similar to this, but much larger on Hamilton Reservoir with Escape Estates in Holland. And we did another one in Quamacuzet, which is the northern end of Sturbridge. And that was with Jennings Construction, where sand had come down through construction and a heavy rain event flowed into the lake. And we had to use flat bottom boats with plywood on them and men in the water, 3 to 4 feet of water, using cement hose, which is a larger hose, and scooping it off to the original gravel bottom. A couple of days' work. On both of them, it was a couple of days. This is the Petos bought the sand, and we have a receipt for it, and it's in this documentation. 32 sandbags, 50 pounds apiece, and looked at the calculations, it's a half a cubic foot in the bag. I thought there would be more, but actually online, Mr. Petto showed. So what has taken place here is 16 cubic feet of sand. And as you know, a cubic yard is 27 cubic feet. So it's a relatively small amount of material, smaller amount of material. It's still a material. It came in and that they bought the sand on March 21st. He did send me the receipts again, 4 of them, for the amount that they bought. And the sandbags were placed along the top of the concrete wall. The lake was up high because they had shut off the gate, as you know. This winter, the water was high because they were working on that outflow to Webster Lake. So I heard that there was other complaints. The water's high, so it came up high. They put the sandbags. Could I ask my client through the chairman?
Sure.
Did you ever have to do this before? How long have you been there?
9 years.
Okay, did you have to do this before? No, because it was never up that high. We had an extra high lake. So they bought the sandbag so it wouldn't come up onto that concrete pad and put them there. And then, again, not knowing, but they did stop. Not knowing, once everything was down and the lake was drawn back down, they took the sand and they threw the sand from Home Depot.
I
Home
can see
Depot.
why you would think that was okay.
And if you read my documentation, I did do, it's a thing called first refusal. Normally we do it through 2 to 3 feet of mud or 4 feet of mud. And you push the rod down. I have a 3/4 inch, 8 foot long fiberglass rod. And it goes down through the soft material until you hit the ground and bottom. This is about 3 to 4 inches at the height. It tapers off. So 44 feet long, 7 feet deep from the sand, from the bottom of the concrete out. Went in there with waders to install that floating siltation boom. And in the center of it, it's 3 to 4 inches deep. We would propose, and it's written on this was a quick draft, put it more formal on my letterhead, but it would be to not leave anything in place, take the sand out, scrape it up. There'd be buckets of plastic buckets right on that lip of the concrete, and the material would go in there. We'd scrape. We'd first tie in the silt fence so that it's tied into the shoreline. Presently, it's just preventing heavy wave action from coming in. We would scrape the material, bring it up, and be going into these buckets on the shoreline. And we cannot guarantee that we're going to get, we can probably say that we're going to get 85% of it out of there. And then the small pebbles, 3/4 inch, we can see beyond it to the right and left. Then the second part of it, that was part of the complaint, was that people over the years had, which they have, some prior to my client, taken the small cobbles, a lot of smaller rocks like this, and they threw them facing the water to the right. So that it shows up on photo number 4. That. So number 1 would be all the way to the west. And so it's kind of like I stood up above and we looked down. I couldn't get one photo to show the whole area. So I took 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 would be all the way to the east, which is where the cobbles are. And we would once we take the sand out, if somebody wants to inspect it prior to anything else, we would then start playing with rocks. We would take rocks, throw them back in to create this microhabitat that's around the niches underneath the smaller cobbles. We didn't see any larger rocks in this one location, because along the shore we do have places where there's some larger chunk of 10-inch, 12-inch, but this seems to be more 3 to 5-inch type of material.
Yep.
So then it
It's a
would be
rocky
spread
bottom
back
there.
out, back into that area where the kids had. It's
I was gonna say, got grandkids.
probably part of a play thing now that you have is a rock
I get it.
thrown over that pile over the years, and there it is. So if it's a restoration of the brook, of the bottom, we've done them on Manchog before with actually, when the lake was drawn down one time, they bulldozed the rocks into one location. We had to use cables and pull them back into location. Years ago, it was quite an extensive kind of pulling rocks back. These are easy enough to put back in place. We would like to move forward as soon as the commission allows us to do it. I do plan on leaving at the end of the month, if it can be done, just for a short period down in Florida. And we'll make this a little bit more formal. Sometimes when I'm talking quick, my son has a couple of little language issues in here that I'd like to have a little bit cleaner. Just clean it up a little bit. He has a lot of typing to do, and I'm kind of talking fast, and sometimes it didn't get done. But we'll clean that little bit up. If we would sign it, I did sign one of these. I know it said signed by someone. We'll put a regular letter together with a signature on it if I'm acceptable in doing this work.
So, Rich, if we go the professional engineer route, they don't do the NOI? Is that how I'm reading this?
Sure.
Good.
I think part of the DEP and MACC, and even in this letter, it's clear, Mr. Peto would brought it to my attention one more time, because I sometimes too many projects. If we're not proposing to do any work like construction. And
You just
so under
rehab.
enforcement order, MACC and DEP does look at, if you're just gonna restore it back to what it was, then it would be work potentially. That's all up to you too.
Mhm.
Whether it could be under an enforcement order. We were asked to perform it under an enforcement order.
Yeah,
That's
it
all I'll
moves,
say on that.
moves faster. You already got the boom up. And
Yeah.
does any
So-
commissioners have any?
So can I just add to that?
Good.
So mitigation, so work under a mitigation, you don't need to, if you're considering an NOI. So no, you can do exactly the same thing. And any sort of plan that basically you can, and this whole letter was intended to sort of generate a mitigation plan.
Yep.
And so when it's acceptable, and then the work gets conducted under that. DEP is aware of this, so they do get to see all of this. Anything, if they were to challenge, like anything that you came up with, it would be, they'd go to Superior Court as opposed to DEP. So if there's any challenges as a result of actions that you have, understand? So there is a difference in and there is a benefit by keeping under the umbrella of an enforcement and having this work done that way, if that's your plan. I just want you to understand. While you could actually ask for an NOI, it's not necessary because DEP is aware of this, and this is, you can just condition it within the enforcement order.
So Glenn, if the commission was to say, proceed under the enforcement order, you're thinking you could jump right on this a couple weeks?
7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days, have it cleaned up?
We just need one more laborer and I'd be on the ground.
Okay.
Make McLean a laborer too, I can do that. Which I normally do,
Hey.
Put those grandkids
Set of
to work.
waiters.
Yep, yep.
And I moved it once. I can-
There you go.
I make a
We
motion
would like
to
to
approve
move
it
forward
with the
Aye.
letter.
and formalize this a little bit, probably work on it tomorrow, get a little bit more formal on my letterhead. And as I
Okay.
said, we were.
All right, we have a motion first by Ms. Foley to move forward under the, to,
If I could.
I may approve
So if-
49 points.
Well, could I just make could I make a recommendation here? So my recommendation then is that we ratify the enforcement order. And then what we do is that we, part of that ratification would be that we get a plan, with the plan that you would be shown that to approve it at the next meeting. So time-wise, we would just say by the next meeting, that's the time point that we'd be looking for.
Mhm.
And then you can condition the work out from there, but I don't think they want to wait till it's ice on the water either, so.
Right.
Yeah, no.
okay.
So you're saying that he has to wait until the next meeting to start the work?
You want to be able, unless you want me to approve the mitigation plan.
Yes.
Yeah, what is,
You want to wait a week?
I would like, if I could.
Yep.
We would like to move forward. 2 weeks is, that's just cutting me right to
Yes.
the day where I'm just about leaving. We were just setting it up.
Okay.
I have a little problem with some other vacation. I want to go away for a few days, if you can.
So you want to approve right away?
If you can, and then Rich okays the final document,
Yeah.
Mr. Parent, I should
I
say.
understand now.
So
I-
step
I
one, we
think-
have to ratify the enforcement order.
Just ratify the enforcement order and you can write the condition?
Yeah, your condition would be, and ratificate, that I would approve the mitigation plan.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there's also the issue of fines, if you think that's,
So I would suggest, I personally, I don't think they should be fined,
I don't either.
because I think
No,
that
the
it was a
honest
genuine,
mistake.
honest mistake. And they promptly ran out, hired Glenn to mitigate what was wrong. They
They
clearly
didn't go
feel
by
really
us.
bad about what happened, and it was not meant with any ill intent. So I would say no fines, but
Okay.
that's what I say.
agree.
I agree.
I think
All
anyone
right.
would have done the same thing with that sand, why not?
So I think we,
Instead of lugging it back. I
We
don't
have-
think he did it on purpose.
we have enough to make a motion then, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
go ahead.
I make a motion to ratify with the approval of Rich makes it whatever he has to do to make it happen.
Rich will do an administrative approval on the mitigation.
On the mitigation.
So you can start right away.
Thank you.
And I'll second that.
And second, so first by Ms. Foley, second by Mr. Avery. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
You can breathe now.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks.
you're very welcome.
It's a lot this
Sorry I had
meeting.
to go this way.
Thanks, guys.
Even your wife's happy. so-
And I'm sure you'll never buy and play sand again. You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
You're
You're
very
welcome.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you for doing the right thing.
I
Yeah,
know.
but you corrected it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I know?
We're all human.
You can ask.
Okay,
You can ask.
they were scared.
So I don't want to just move on real quick. Are you here for a specific project? Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure I didn't,
I am, but I'm not. Joey's been trying to recruit me for a board.
oh.
So, I've been to a few meetings, I've been in front of you guys, and on the other side, there is one thing, a lot next to me tonight, but I didn't come to that.
Definitely.
And I gotta tell you, you did a great job with both of those enforcements. It's too bad the second one didn't go first. The right way to do it.
I think the
Yeah.
second one was
Thank
gonna
you.
die over there. That's what's gonna fall on
You
him
did
too.
an outstanding job on the side of it.
And I'm
Appreciate
glad
it.
we didn't frighten you away. You haven't run away.
You're right, they totally disrespected you back then.
It's rough.
And when I did my work on the lake, I had to hire an engineer, I had to hire architects.
You
The
are,
right way.
you are? Who are you?
I didn't hear
What is your name?
Brian,
You're a manager?
yeah.
I was gonna say, I know I've seen you before. You've been here before or
I just sent
something.
you a letter. Can you wait before you leave? I just sent you a letter.
All right, let's go. Let's get this thing done.
Okay,
All right.
yes.
Environmental Leadership Award. We're gonna, we have to vote. We have two candidates, candidate 1 and candidate 2 in the,
I did vote.
I didn't even look. I was too worried.
And not everybody has voted. So here's my recommendation that we move forward with both candidates. We apply narratives to their award. So I had a proposal of Sutton Road Cleanup Award or something to that effect. And then the second for applicant, for the first candidate, and then candidate number 2 was going to be the Webster Lake beautification. The idea here is that on the plate that you would actually see somebody's name, you'd actually have a little narrative or understanding of why they're on that plaque. That's kind of what I thought. It kind of served a dual purpose. And it allows us at any point, during the year that we see something happening, we can, it doesn't have to be, we've elongated this out a lot, and I wish it's really in your hands. But I think everybody kind of gets the concept that we're trying to encourage activities that we've seen. And so that's all, it's really about. It's not about winners or losers or.
I hate to disagree with you again, but
I
I
know.
have to.
It's okay.
Because that's what it wasn't set up for. It was
Correct.
one person.
Okay.
They're adults. We're not in kindergarten.
So-
They
Okay.
don't both need the ice cream.
so I think we need going forward, I think we need more clarification on the rules for the award and nominations and everything else.
If you want to change the
And
rules,
so
you can.
we can put that on the agenda for another time to, more look at how we're going to do the award moving
I
forward.
don't know why we decided to change it in the.
It was
midstream.
clear. There was a
It was very
rubric
clear.
to
In a
grade of
rubric, and
sorts. So
It
I
was-
thought it was clear, but
It was one
Yeah.
person or a group. It wasn't
I
everybody who was
will,
nominated.
I
See,
think there should only be one winner, but I'll go with the group.
I think there should only be one winner too, and I won't go with the group. Just being honest.
Do you want, you're looking at me.
No, I'm just trying to move forward
Okay.
so that I can
I
end
was
this
looking at
meeting.
you.
So I'm trying to figure out how to move forward.
I'm just, we painfully went through this whole thing for a year. We finally picked a candidate. Now we're gonna go through painfully again to change what we already did.
So did everybody vote, Rich?
No.
I
So
didn't vote.
step number 1, everybody needs to vote. And then if it's a tie vote, then 2 people win. If there's a higher vote for one candidate, then that person wins. And perhaps the other person will win another year. I don't think just because you're nominated, you should win. I do agree with that. It was set up pretty clearly. We put a lot of thought and effort into the role and what the requirements were. You did a lot of work on the rubric. So when you read the nominations, you were able to make decisions about it. I voted. I chose who I thought was the best candidate at this time of the 2 for the award. But I don't think just because people you didn't vote yet, that we should just say everybody
Yeah.
wins, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
it's,
I'll
you
do
all
it.
have the responsibility to vote. Did you vote?
I did.
Okay, Devin voted. Devin and I voted.
I spent a lot of time on Point Breeze when I finally got the information. But going along with what Patty said, it kind of reminds me of meeting the parents. When the guy says, I didn't know that they made a 9th place winner. Everybody can't win. I mean, that just
Okay,
makes
all
it
right.
really
Well,
special.
So I'll just.
How do we-
Then I would say that you need a motion to approve candidate number 2, being that the preponderance,
Well,
regardless
we don't
of,
have everyone voted.
it won't matter.
It won't matter.
No. It's almost unanimous.
Candidate 2.
Correct.
Who's can't?
So you're saying based on what's already been voted on?
Correct.
Because I voted, Devin voted.
Correct.
It would be candidate 2.
Correct.
Okay.
So I think we can move forward with candidate 2.
Okay. All right. Let's move forward with candidate 2.
We just need a motion on that. that's all.
Okay. I need a
I'll
motion.
make a motion to move forward with candidate 2 for the leadership award.
First by Ms. Sharon,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Foley. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay.
So motion passes 4-0. One abstention.
As for staff updates, I have a proposal. We could take them all together unless there's one or two that specifically you want me to pull out and do. These are just a bunch of
I have one
trees.
question before you start.
Yeah.
Everybody with a tree removal, do they have to replace it with a tree?
Yeah, so almost always, that is part of the deal. I put that in everywhere. Or a shrub or something woody in nature.
Well,
And I-
do they tree for tree or is it tree for shrub?
Most often it's tree for tree, but there are sometimes shrubs are probably more appropriate.
I had a question on the wording in 48 West Point.
I'm sorry, you faded towards the end. 48 West Point?
Yeah, yeah. In the wording of the approval, it said, question of future tree replacement. And I didn't know what that meant. Maybe we'll have them replace trees someday, like. it
Oh,
did-
West Point. Okay, so West Point, if you recall, that was that big giant tree that fell down last week.
Oh, in
With
the
all the
lake.
Right.
people with-
As when they brought in the crane, that man also, the tree that was right next to it also was severely compromised and was leaning. So that needed to go, it was equal girth. And while he had the crane there, he had another tree which clearly had a big disease spot and it was not doing particularly well. So, and then once they did that, there's another pine tree, which I never saw, but they had the crane there. So they decided to take that as well. It's a white pine and they were always.
Yeah.
One of the issues with this was that, interestingly enough, the insurance company is the one that asked them to remove limbs that were overhanging the house. And that is what destabilized that tree to just fall on a non-windy day into the lake onto their dock. This is, the result too is that there are two walls involved here. One is very close to the water, it's very short. And because the dock went through there, it was one of those docks that extended out, but the poles come down and it's disrupted lots of that wall. And so that needs to be repaired or replaced. Equally, there's a bigger wall, particularly down on the left side of that as you're looking at it from the lake, which is probably been compromised. The building inspector is going to look at that tomorrow. Because it's such a tall wall, the building inspector, because anything over 4 feet, he gets involved. So he's going to be looking at that as well. There is probably most likely an NOI moving forward. So the reason for that question mark was that I told him he was unsure about what was going to be taken and what was going to be done for a plan. So the idea was that we would roll it into the NOI that's most likely coming forward. He was in the office today asking about how to move forward on that. So I anticipate that happening.
Awesome.
I have one more question. Do we charge a fee for all these administrative?
$40.
Yeah, I was just wanted to know if my brain was still with me.
It's my time to go out and take pictures and document. That was the purpose of that.
So is everyone fine with moving forward? Just, when we get to the administrative approvals, we'll just.
I make a
The-
motion to pass them all.
There's particularly a large
make a
number
motion to
this
pass
time.
them
If it's
all.
only a couple, it's, it's.
Yeah,
But it was a long
we're gonna pull up a
agenda.
picture of a tree and we're gonna look at it.
Right.
You can pull up the
They're
picture of the
all
tree and
about
decide.
If I was to say in general,
That's it.
I would tell you
I'll
that
act like a tree and approve all.
there's a beech tree disease, which is affecting
I read that.
lots of the trees that are involved here. I have 2 large trees that I am so sad to see that I might have to get rid of. So a lot of them are that. I will tell you too, that 40 Bates Point, remember, that's the,
Yeah,
right? So there were some trees in that, if you've gone by there, he's done a great job at maintaining the canopy there. From when you go from the lakeside, you can barely tell if there's any work going on there, but yet you go on the inside, it's clear that there's, it's been cleared out. It looks very nice. But he bumped into one of the a couple of the birch trees. So I know when we had this discussion, so when I was talking to him, I said,
No, this is
well,
kind of-
that one-to-one replacement has got to include river birches, and so he's understanding. So he will be, so he's up to like, I don't know, 18 trees at this point.
These weren't, so 40 Bates wasn't, we approved the trees to be removed as part of his plan.
Right,
These are 3 additional trees. So he's just explaining.
Yeah.
In case you see more work going on there than what we approved,
Approved.
No, I
It's-
just
it's-
didn't like his
that's-
wording in his letter, but.
so it's a weird one because we already have an open.
He was
Yeah.
upset
Yeah.
that, he was upset that they didn't get in the initial one.
Right.
So,
There seemed to be a Russian that got missed.
Yeah, I just took
so
offense at that, but it's just me.
the only thing I got left.
I just need a motion. Oh, no, we don't need a, my bad.
No, you don't need a motion.
Just,
He was able to get the silt fence fixed aside of where the tree fell down into the lake. I don't know if you saw that. It's all fixed, like really good. Like, I don't know, did you do it yourself?
No, so,
It's,
okay,
it's
so,
all up.
yeah, we can't talk about another project,
Yeah.
but there was discussion.
Yeah, so that's been fixed. So I need a motion to adjourn.
Just one other thing, I just want to, I want to give a kudos to those folks, Devin, Brian, and myself for participating in the lake cleanup. It was very good, and it's good to hear that Devin went over to Fish and Game and went out and did an area of the lake that we usually cover, so it was really good.
good.
Yeah, that was a great picture of him. You guys gotta go on Facebook, eh?
Good job.
Yeah, there was
Let's spare it,
Next
you know?
You should have got the picture of me walking through four feet of muck
Yeah.
over behind Point Breeze.
I did like your photo of the tree that had fallen in the lake. That was amazing with
It's
all
been there
the,
for years.
with all the turtles
And the-
on it, and that was like, that was
The
an
birch?
amazing photo. I love that.
Turtles,
photo.
feathers, and sunshine on
Yeah.
a Sunday.
It really,
Nice.
it made me smile, and I was like, oh, it's from Rich. Very nice photo.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn till our next meeting on August 17th.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do we get overtime tonight?
Second.
First by Mr. Avery,
I second.
second by Ms. Foley. All those in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thanks, guys.